Hello. So, what I wanted to talk about was I was revisiting a workshop that I did back in February, March last year, and it was on it was on feminine magic, and it was on the topics of magical money and leadership. And I was just rereading the slideshow and wanting to delve, more deeply again into the workshop and listen to the recording. Excuse me. But I was struck by and remembering when I read the slides, one of the first slides, the question was posed by the teacher, Sarah Bertrand. Um, how would it feel in your body if you had $5 million in your bank account? Um, and she was really pointing to how would it feel in your body. It doesn't need to. How would it feel? It was about how would it feel. And she also added another part. Yeah, it was like what would you gain in your body if you had 500. Actually, let me just get the slide so that I can properly say what it was. Um, okay, yeah, okay. So her questions were how how does money feel in your body? What are your ancestral contracts programs? What would you gain as a feeling if you had $5 million? And what would you lose in your feminine if you had $5 million? And she says it doesn't have to be true, but it's true to the feeling in your body. Um, so I think this has been coming in and out of my mind over the past several days. And for me, particularly because it's been very financially constrained for me for quite a while, um, this idea of having $5 million is like my whole body just like relaxes. And it's such a sigh of relief. It's just this cellular relief and relaxation. My shoulders relax, and it's also a feeling of once that happens, like expansion and this permission to be generous, this permission to dream and create and to have space and to have permission to feel into the possibilities for my life. But in my body, yeah, my body feels so much more relaxed and also so much more present and here. And um, I'd say kind of rooted, you know, um, not not anxious, trying to figure out how I'm going to get money and not worrying about money issues. And it's just here. I do feel more embodied. And first, I was thinking about how, like with the tree or the fruit tree, money could be seen like the fruit that eventually grows and ripens and is available from the tree, but it's just the end result. And where does it ultimately come from? It comes from the life of the tree. The tree is alive. It knows it knows it's alive. It knows that it is prosperous and abundant and can generate fruit from itself. And that fruit will die and then more fruit will come. And so I feel like that feeling in the body where we feel like we have $5 million in our bank account, the feeling that comes is similar to the feeling of the tree that knows the fruit is there. It's resting in that. It's sovereign. It knows it can provide for itself. It knows its worth. It knows its prosperity and abundance, and it's the feeling of that. And then I suppose the question is, why don't we have the feeling of that? That feeling, unfortunately, mostly is absent for so many of us, where we are more programmed into scarcity and systems that probably exacerbate that sense of scarcity, and we don't believe that we can generate that kind of prosperity or abundance. We don't believe it comes from within ourselves. We feel like we have to rely on someone to give us money, and we'll kind of do anything for that, you know. Um, so I thought that was an interesting point to consider, and the importance of tuning into that feeling more and more, because I believe the truth is, you know, we can tap into that feeling. It's not, and who knows what that feeling eventually might generate. Yes, it could generate 5 million in your bank account, or 1 million, or whatever is for you, you know, because the money, the resources, the outcomes, the fruit ultimately will come from the natural life force of the tree, of the human, you know. So I think that exercise kind of points us at that. It points us back inwards to the life force. And it's very telling that doing that exercise and imagining what how we would feel if we had that money, and noticing what it does to your body, you know. I mean, maybe some people might actually feel anxious. I don't know. I think we all might respond differently. So it's an interesting exercise to do. Yeah, for me, it feels so wonderful, so reassuring, and it's not a kind of a greedy, anxious feeling that comes where it's like, oh, you know, I want to buy, and maybe other feelings would come if I did actually have that money. But for now, it's kind of, yeah, deep relaxation that I feel. And so the second thing I wanted to say that struck me was the 5 million, this exercise and this symbol of 5 million, or any figure, any big figure, that works for us today because we have externalized so much of our own power and prosperity and abundance. And we've become so entrenched in the material world and in the money world. Um, money is kind of the externalization of our our power, energy dynamics, that it works for us because we can relate to it. We're like, yeah, in the world we live in right now, $5 million is represents freedom and represents success and um, abundance, prosperity. That that big money figures, we we see it as that pot of gold, and we can relate to that. So if somebody says to us, what would it feel like if you had that, we can kind of work with that image. But maybe in, well, maybe in times past, or maybe in future times, that symbol would be something different. Um, it would be it would be deep connections with our community, a feeling of belonging, a feeling of connectedness. a feeling of inner sovereignty and creative self-expression, a feeling of expansiveness, a feeling of generosity, a feeling of love. What I'm trying to say is that it's interesting that we use this symbol of $5 million or any big money figure to access a feeling in our bodies of deep relaxation and presence and expansiveness and openness and generosity. If you're the same as me, if you also kind of have those feelings as a result of the exercise. Whereas this symbol, it's just a symbol. The feelings are what are important, and if we can more deeply embody those feelings consistently, regardless of what is here, regardless of whether that's real or not, we can imagine it's real in order to generate the feelings. But it doesn't matter if it's real or not. And over time, if we were to do that consistently enough, we would see the fruit, however that it appears in our own life, perfect for us, whatever it is, whether it's 5 million or whether it's not, or it could be even a bigger sum or it could be a smaller sum, but it would be perfect for us, because what the exercise is really about is tapping you into that sense of your own deep inner prosperity that is accessible now and that we have forgotten about, I suppose, through the intense material world that we live in. We've externalized our own prosperity, and we feel like we need to get it out there somehow, that we don't have it already. And so we see these dollar signs or euro signs or pound signs, and we think it's out there. Once I get it, then I can feel this. But the truth is, we can feel this already. This is what is prior, this is what is most important. And we can feel this first, regardless of this. And once that is felt consistently enough, eventually, you know, but this external manifestation is not actually the point. It's this that we're really, really interested in, although we don't know it, I suppose. So yeah, some kind of muddled thoughts for today, and I hope I can translate this into something more articulate. Thank you.